felt a little shamed not having watched much in the past few weeks. So I got to catch most of this Leafs Oilers game. And in a sentence, the Oilers got leafed. Uh, they outplayed the Leafs for vast stretches of the game. Draisaitl misses a wide open net. Then 10 minutes in the second of pure domination for this Oilers team, where the Leafs don't see a single shot on goal. And then around the 9-minute 30 mark, their second shot on goal in the period, first shot in about a 10 plus minute stretch, goes in on an amazing hustle play by Wayne Simmons to get them the lead. Every power play seems to click for them. Edmonton gets a goal in the third period, tries to mount a comeback, and the Leafs answer right back. So Oilers fans, I know exactly how you feel. We've been there so many times. On the other hand, it felt so good to see our boys close well. Going into that game after the Chicago one you mentioned, I wanted to go to bed after 2 periods, but the Leafs being the Leafs, that lead did not feel secure. And it was so satisfying to watch them take care of the puck in the third and answer back on that goal, close out strong offensively, no lapses. Game with a few holes there. That 10 minutes in the seconds was tough to watch, but really nice bounce back game from the Chicago one for our boys.
Not just any response goal. Austin Matthews, 20th goal of the season, an absolute laser beam
That was
off the
the
post
second.
and in.
That was later, I think.
Yeah, I thought that was the fifth goal of the night. It was his second
Yeah,
goal of the game.
but like we had a 3-0, I think.
You mean in
And then
response to
the
the
Oilers went
Oilers
3-1.
goal?
And then like I think Brody made it 4-1 like a minute later. So because 3-1's a scary score, right?
Yeah.
And then that Matthews goal just closed it out and put the threat away to bed.
So nice. So
Oh
nice.
yeah. Filth.
Yeah, I mean, I wish every game was against Edmonton, to be honest, even though they have seemingly the two scariest players in the league, because the Leafs
Well,
7-1-2 in their last 10 against the Edmonton Oilers, 6-1-2 last year against them in the North Division, and getting a win now this season. For some reason, we have their number, and I wish they could figure out how to play like this against every other team, because how do you figure out the like two best guys in the league and not anything else?
just treat every team's best player like they're Connor McDavid. Although maybe the player who really needs that treatment right now isn't Connor McDavid, but Alex Ovechkin, as he is currently the league's leading scorer. We mentioned this briefly on the podcast, but the 37-year-old leading the league in points, he hasn't done that for almost 7 years. He just took the all-time NHL tie for power play goals, probably the best to ever do it on the power play. So love to see that. And 14 away from Yager, that seems pretty darn likely this season,
Oh yeah.
especially at the rate he's going. So sorry to be a little all over the place here, but had to throw that in there.
Yeah, Ovi. Great goal scorer and great father. Was playing a little hockey in his living room with the kids. Saw that video on Instagram making the rounds. No mercy on the kids either. Nasty toe he pulled on one of them. He's just, everything's going right for him right now.
Yeah, but for this Edmonton team, everything going wrong. That is a 6-game slide. McDavid, Draisaitl doing their best. It's a Herculean effort, but it's just not enough. The goaltending, it seems like, I don't want to say dumb luck, but it's something a lot of teams struggle with that just seems to gel at other times with not a lot of rhyme or reason. And that was the case for them at first, but a bit of a struggle here. The depth scoring, nowhere to be found for this team. And they've gone from one of the hottest teams in the league to one of the coldest. The playoff, it's a regression, or heading towards a regression, where it seemed like this was a good regular season team that needed to figure it out in the playoffs. Look, a 6-game slide is something we as Leafs fans are plenty familiar with. Slumps that need to be addressed in the regular season. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are too good to not steal a few games, answer it back, and find a way to get their team back in it. But the questions which were already present are just especially high for this team right now.
Yeah, on 32 Thoughts, it was mentioned that it looks like the GM Ken Holland will be looking into defense and goaltending as we get closer to the deadline. Still a couple months away, but definitely a focus for him. The direct quote was that he said it is hard to score 4 goals a night, which is what they were doing at the beginning of the season. But when you give up over 3 and you have to score 4, it just puts so much strain on your offense. And yeah, it's tough when Mike Smith and Koskinen are your two guys, and you're relying on that every night, and you just don't have. You spent a lot of money on Hyman and Warren Fogle, but you didn't really bolster the back end. 4 years for Cody Ceci, Tyson Barrie. Like, we already saw this in Toronto. We know it doesn't work, and obviously it's not working in Edmonton either.
They love the former Leafs, though, eh? CC, Barry, Hyman.
Yeah, love those guys, but I mean, now new spot. Hyman I can take off that list. He's been great for them. He's their third leading scorer, but yeah, the Barry Ceci thing is just yikes.
Yeah.
There's some high level analysis for you.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear that, because my focus was on, I think Cassian scored their only goal of the night against the Leafs, and they said something like that was the first goal coming from not the top 2 lines in like a ridiculous number of games. So really questions over the head of every player not named McDavid and Draisaitl, and I'll add Nurse to that list. I really like how he took care of the puck last night, or the other night. Yeah, the Oilers team, well, we've got more than enough worries of our own, so I won't shoulder too much of theirs.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much it for this one. I think